So since we're on the topic, this is a great example of like when you have things for your snake to interact with, it allows them to explore. And so these type of things kind of keeps their minds engaged and whatnot. So as you can see, clean enclosure, and now he's just exploring. Every time I clean their enclosures, like they all do this. So today I wanted to kind of focus on enriching your snake's life, right? So all I'm saying is, a couple different things. One is just the things you're gonna add into your enclosure to provide said enrichment. And when I say enrichment, all I'm saying is just like, we're talking about kind of pretty much like stimulating your snake's mind. So that's on a psychological level and also on a physiological level. And so what I'm talking about is, like, for starters, having fake plants and having like a grapevine or things for them to climb on. It gives them that sense to adventure or to like climb and sit on top of things, versus if they have completely nothing to do or nothing to perch on or nothing to to engage with. If there's nothing for them, then believe it or not, they get bored. And when they get bored, you then kind of have a situation where you can have behavioral effects. Now, I'm specifically speaking on captive bred snakes. So you have captive bred snakes and you have wild caught. So wild caught, I can't really, I can't really give advice on wild caught snakes, as because I don't have any and I don't really have experience with them. But I can talk about captive bred snakes, which is what most of you have. I doubt most of you have a wild caught snake, unless maybe you bought one off a morph market. So once again, we're talking about enrichment. We're just talking about, things for your snakes to engage with. And so in most of my tanks, you'll see, all of them have like plants, all of them have, like little vines for them to climb on, a grapevine. And also what's really important is substrate. I feel like in every video I do, I always talk about substrate, and that's just because it's one of those things I see time and time again, people just kind of going the easier, cheaper route. And I'm not judging, and I get it. I get why certain people do certain things. I'm once again not judging, but we're talking in this video about enrichment, and so making it as making it as like making it as comfortable of a home for your snake. So substrate is very important, and I talk about this in a lot of my videos, like I just said. Anyway, so one of the things I do is I do a 50-50 substrate mix, and I just highly advise that. A lot of people kind of get stuck on, oh, what's better, cocoa or cypress? I think they're both good, but they're even better when you mix it with jungle mix. So that's just my theory. 50-50, mix it in together, put a little water, mix it all up, and I promise you your humidity is gonna be boosted really high, like all week, And I have different species of snakes, so I could definitely vouch for that. The reason why it's also important for your snake to have things inside of its enclosure, it allows them to sit on it. These are things they're gonna sit on, they're gonna sleep on it, they're going to smell it, they're going to eat on it, they're gonna do a host of things with it. And also it makes your enclosures, or it makes your habitats look really beautiful to add some greenery. I always advise using fake plants, just because then you don't have to worry about them getting squished. They're easy to clean. It makes your life a lot easier than, I feel like when you put like live plants in there, you then run risk of having a lot of bugs. And me personally, I don't like bugs. That's why I don't own any bug eating animals. I don't know, insects, it's not my thing. Anyways, so enrichment's really important. I had somebody hit me up on Instagram recently, and they're asking questions like, yo, what should I put in my snake enclosure? I just got a snake and I don't know what to put in my enclosure. And having now multiple enclosures, it's easy, but I remember when I first started off. And so, you know, a couple things I just want to say that's really important to have. I would just put a couple different branches, you know, a couple different green little plants. You can find one at Michael's. You could find, you know, I've gotten these from like reptile stores, but I've heard other people go and do cheaper routes. I've heard, once again, you know, craft shops like Michael's would be a great place to kind of get some fake plants, you know, to create kind of clutter for your snake to kind of hide in, and like I said before, like lay on and do all kinds of things. They really enjoy it, so it's really important. And so there's a cheaper route, and then once again, you can buy things online. Amazon is, you know, the world is your oyster in that regard. So another part of enrichment, it's not just also the enclosure, it's also about taking your, you know, your snake out of the enclosure. I'm not saying once again for all species. Some species of snakes that, you know, they're more display animals than they are, you know, handleable, or, you know, and that some snakes you're just not gonna handle, right? Allegedly. But with the snakes that I have, these are just boa imperators and ball python and a Brazilian rainbow boa. So, you know, to me, they're not in that particular lane. So if you have like a beginning intermediate snake that's not like a, you know, a green sheep python or an Amazon, you know, or I'm sorry, an emerald boa, you know, stuff like, and even those can be handled. I feel it's a whole other conversation though. But so a lot of people ask me like, how often should I handle my snake? And so to me, I think the most important time is like every day, you know, as long as they're not in shed like today, right? You kind of see, or you didn't really see it, but you're hearing it from me, just like how irritable he was, and he's never irritable. So once again, you know, after they've just eaten, so usually for my snakes, I give them 2 days. I used to give them 1 day. I was so excited to handle them, but I figured 2 days is always safer. So I give them 48 hours to digest their meal. And if they're in shed, I let them completely shed before I typically handle them. So what I'm saying is that it creates a stress-free life. And once again, we're talking about enriching, you know, your snake's life. So creating a, like, as least of a stressful, you know, environment and situation is always the best thing for you and your snake, right? A great reason for taking them out is, you know, it provides some exercise. It allows them to smell different things, and it creates this like a, you know, a diverse environment for them, which once again it's really enriching. It's stimulating their mind, right? And so I find it very important. And you do that, you have a happy snake, they're going to be tame, they're going to be chill, they're not going to be on edge all the time. So, you know, handling is very important. If you have a snake that's a little defensive right now, you know, just stick with it, handle it. You know, obviously I wouldn't say every day, or maybe you handle every day if you're up to that. If you're really afraid, I would say maybe try to, you know, at least like 3 times a week, spend like 5 to 10 minutes, maybe wearing, you know, like a thick gardener glove. So watch, I was like, what the hell is that? Maybe like a gardener glove and like a thick jacket or something like that, just to make you feel safer. So if they're not getting any mental stimulation, they're more likely going to become obese. And I'm not saying any snake or all snakes that aren't interacted with will be defensive, but I'm thinking and I'm believing the odds are a lot higher for them to be defensive. So maybe you're looking at me like, Blkhippiee, what are you talking about? Like, snakes don't feel nothing. I mean, if that's how you feel, that's how you feel. But obviously a snake can't tell you like, hey, like, I'm bored. You know, you may not see it in that way, but I feel like there are signs that you can see. And once again, when I say like behavioral signs, so like maybe your snake is just a little bit, it's super defensive, it's probably because, you know, it may not be receiving enough enrichment, or it may not be handled enough. So there are things on your end that you could do to help with that. And I say this all the time, but I had a ball python, or Bubba here. Bubba was the same way. Like, he was super defensive. And so what I did was I added more enrichment and clutter, and, you know, handled him. And I did all the steps I was just telling you guys, and it worked. So, you know, these are just my experiences. I'm no, like, you know, snake whisperer or anything like that. Maybe not, I don't know. But I don't classify myself in that way. My whole point is that the reason why I haven't been bitten is I feel like I'm always kind of ahead. You know, I don't know, like when I'm handling them, I know they have teeth, you know, so I'm not ever weaving my hand in their face. And if I'm doing that, it's to kind of get their attention. If I find them to be, you know, being aggressive, or not aggressive, but if they're being defensive, but I don't have that issue anymore. But when I would use my hand to kind of create a distraction. But that's neither here nor there. All I'm trying to say is that most times people get bit, it's usually their fault. You know, I hate to say that. I don't mean to sound mean when I say that, but usually it's, if you get bit, I would say 9 times out of 10, it's probably your fault. And it's avoidable. It's definitely avoidable. I mean, using like a snake hook, things like that, I mean, it's definitely avoidable. Once again, if your snake is having behavioral issues, if you're finding your snake to be like super defensive, it's probably because there's a lack of enrichment. And so, you know, just up your enrichment, and let's see, you know, in the comments below, let me know, like, if you have, if you have a defensive snake, and let me know if adding enrichment or handling it more helps with that. But most people I talk to who have these issues, who kind of do these steps, you know, it really does work for them and their animal, in the sense of like de-stressing their, you know, interaction with their animal, but also their animals just being more chill. As a fam, not trying to, you know, have like a super long video today, but yeah, I really hope that this information helps you guys. I know it helped me. I know when I first, you know, my first snake, you know, I did a lot of research, you know, I did a lot of research, and I still was finding myself to be a little short on certain things, and so that's why I kind of create this channel, is just to kind of help you all, you know, other people in the hobby, you know, and things are always changing, things are always evolving in the hobby, so that also makes it really fun. I don't think that I know everything. You know, we're always learning and growing, so it's really cool to kind of do it together with everybody. So thanks for watching. You know, if you haven't already, just hit that subscription button, get more content, and get more of my snakes, and get to grow with us and see our collection grow as well. So that does it, fam. Thanks again for watching. Blkhippiee out. Gotta go watch my Laker game. All right, that's it, fam. Thanks for watching. Blkhippiee out. Peace.